West Virginia football gets a massive tight end to add to next year's class, and an Arkansas flip. This is a big time.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby, where we're talking about the Mountaineers on the football side again today, baby. And I appreciate you guys so much for all your support. As always, going to be brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Guys, when it comes to FanDuel, right now, if you bet $5 and that bet wins, you're going to get $300 back in bonus bets to use across the app. So download the FanDuel app today to get started. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. So I did this segment earlier today in the last show I did on this kid, but I think it's going to get buried there. So I'm decided to do just a quick show on this one here, because I think the more I watch the kid's tape, the more I like it, and I want it to be on record how much I like the kid, so that we can talk about it later on down the line, whether or not he ends up to be good or not. But I'm of the belief that this kid's going to play a lot of football for us, potentially as early as his freshman year, and I'll tell you why. The more I watch the tape, the more I'm impressed with some of the things he can do, and we're going to dive into that. There's a reason he was being recruited to the SEC. There's a reason he was being recruited to Arkansas, a place that has an elite offense right now, by the way, even though they're not the greatest team. So we're going to talk about all that, guys, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. All right. So this name is one that we just talked about earlier. But like I said, we're going to re-break it down so we have a full show on it. Kade Bush, 2026 tight end out of Chanhassen High School in Minnesota. Hopefully I said that correct. 6'5", big kid, 220 pounds. He could be anywhere between 200 to 220. His junior season where he plays for the Storm, 28 receptions, 412 yards, 14.7 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns. A key contributor on a state championship team that includes a game-winning overtime catch. And in 2023 as a sophomore, he's also really good in the run game, which you'll see. He had a 35-yard touchdown run in week 1 of this year. And he's currently going through his senior season, which we are watching updates on, and he has on his profile, which we will check out. He's in a 2 tight end rotation, but he's the dominant guy in the rotation from what I can tell. If you look at his testing metrics, he runs a 1.38 laser time 10-yard dash, a 4.33 in the shuttle, and a 9.5 broad jump. But where he's really elite is in that vertical jump. This kid's probably able to get elbow deep above the rim at his height with a 33-inch vertical, guys. That's elite even in basketball. And that multi-sport background with lacrosse probably enhancing him in several ways, in his agility. So he is the team captain as well. So these are big deals, right? He is rated as a 3-star prospect, the number 68 tight end nationally. But his profile is growing. Arkansas, West Virginia, Kansas State, Washington State, Utah State, all reaching out to this kid. And for good reason. He can really go. I think he's definitely severely underrated to be as low rated as that. I mean, surely to goodness he's gaining steam as we talk about him now. And scouts across 247 rivals, on 3 prep, red zone, etc., call him the physical hammer that really makes their offense go. And when you watch him on tape, that's very true. His stock is rising, according to 247's Alan Trieu. He can catch in traffic. He's good in the contested spot situations. He high points the ball well, and he blocks like a tackle with quick hands, which bring that lacrosse background to the forefront, and it makes him a threat. He also needs to add power, but he projects as an early impact guy in certain schemes. Weibel says he's a dynamic mover. For his size, he evades tackles like a smaller receiver, but finishes runs with bad intentions. Doesn't shy from contact in the run game and has a high floor as a blocker who could flip to outside linebacker if needed. He is very explosive after the catch, according to On Three, with that yak ability. Agility metrics pop for a 220 pounder, and really a multi sport grit kind of shines through here, and also bringing up his lacrosse background. Raw, very coachable, according to On Three. Prep Red Zone, which is Oliver West, says he's big, physical, he's fast. Started as a sophomore on an undefeated 5A championship team, overcame a hip injury with surgery, came back in 2024 showing a ton of mental toughness, loves the grind, and competes like a vet. The general consensus on Kade is that he is an ideal H-back / hybrid type tight end in a spread offense or pro-style offense, like Rich Rod's system, and he is praised for really required multiple defenders needed to bring him down, which you'll see on tape over and over and over again. He's got incredible hand-eye coordination, which you will see on a lot of his football routes, different things, and in his blocking. And he's got potential to be an early enrollee with a starter, I think, in year one. That's my opinion. If you look at the hard edge meter for this kid, which is my scale that I've created, which is from 0 to 10, right? I'm sorry, from 0 to 50 score. And then you got 5 categories that you score from 0 to 10. So here's how his score out. He's an elite blocker, guys, and I mean elite. I'm talking about he may be a 3-star overall prospect, but he's a 4-star to 5-star blocker at tight end. That's how good he is. 9.2. Really great in perimeter drive blocking, guys. He loves contact for his coaches. He just doesn't get displaced in the run game. You don't see it. I think that lacrosse footwork adds positioning, but he definitely needs some strength gains, but he will get them. The catching is an 8.7. So he's got really strong hands in traffic, which you'll see. The game winner owed overtime, if you ever get a chance to go see that from his sophomore year, shows the clutch gene, which we like to talk about. And, his hands are very good. Speed is an 8.5. He's got great burst, which is important. But I wouldn't say that he's a burner by any means. I mean, probably in that 4.7 range, like I said earlier. Physicality is a 9.5 out of 10. He is a sledgehammer, guys, after the catch. Takes multiple dudes to bring him down, and there's a reason for that. He wrestled in his youth. He kind of embraces the grind. He's a very hard-edge mentality type kid you can see on tape, and I think that hip surgery helped build that mental edge for him. The run game blocking is a 7.6. He's pretty versatile in the rushing game. He's also really great carrying the ball with evade and power style either. He can do both. He can evade. He can do power style. He's really good in short yardage, but his light frame kind of limits him between the tackles against some bigger fronts. But overall, this is a big-time flip for the Mountaineers, and he is going to be somebody that I think Rich Rod and company are going to hit on. I don't think he's a miss because of how good he blocks. If he turns out not to be a great receiver for whatever reason, I think he'll be okay because of his blocking ability, which we're going to show on the on tape, because I think it's he's got his week 7 highlights up. I actually want to watch those. Haven't got to see them yet. So we'll actually get to see some highlights from recent, because everything that's online is from a year ago. And we want to see a little bit newer stuff to see if he's made any gains between the junior and senior year stuff. So let's go ahead and do that next, guys, after the break here on Locked On West Virginia. And we crack open the tape and look at Kade to see how much he's improved in 2025. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Kuo. When it comes to Kuo, it's a pretty simple thing. Open the tools that help you make a huge difference, guys. And this is one of the tools that helps make a huge difference for business owners. And Kuo, formerly known as Open Phone, it's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before, just with a new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you have to have a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Kuo is the number one business phone system that streamlines customer communications, and it works right through your app on your computer or phone. So there really isn't any more carrying two phones or relying on a landline. Their built-in AI agent is a game changer, and it can answer many calls after hours. It can answer, capture lead times. It can get businesses moving, even when you're off the clock, which is a big deal. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Kuo, formerly known as OpenPhone. Get started for free today and get 20% off your first 6 months at kuo.com/lockedoncollege. That's QUO.com/lockedoncollege. Hell, you can even keep on your existing number for free with Kuo. No missed calls, no missed customers. And where would we be without FanDuel? Of course, we know all about FanDuel right now as the NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. We like to call it a can't miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. It'll make you holla, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets. That's if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you unlock $300 bonus bets to use across the app. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. Am I right? So what are you waiting for? Today, visit FanDuel, download the app, and you too, just like me, can get started. Segment 2. Let's open a Diet Dew. Crack-a-doo, crack-a-doo, crack-a-doo. That's what I say during Christmas time. Crack-a-doo, crack-a-doo, crack-a-doo. Thanks, Raven. Don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate that so much. If you don't mind, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here, and also share the video out. We're this close to 7,000 subscribers, which means we've gained close to 5,000 subscribers in a year, guys. That's really moving. So the channel continues to grow at a very fast rate. Obviously, having a video that did close to 100,000 views helped a lot with that. I mean, it just will. But at the end of the day, we're excited about the future of this, me and this show in the media, right? So this has been a great time. I'm so grateful. All right, so let's get to the tape, man, which is what I say all the time, right? It's one of my big sayings, watch the tape. It's okay to read somebody else's opinion about a player and formulate an opinion, especially if you trust that person. But why not watch the tape and then start formulating your own opinions on players? I trust me more than I trust a lot of other people, right? Even guys that do this for a living sometimes. And I've been right in other cases. I've also been really wrong. I think with the mistake I made, by the way, I think the mistake I made on this year's football team was I didn't project how good they would be in a first-year situation. That was my big, big mistake about the guys I was talking about, Sincere Bowers and guys like that, who, if they just had a competent team around them, I think would be able to contribute. But unfortunately, the 81 new guys and all the injuries and everything that's happened to the team, nobody has been able to. It's not a normal situation. So, yeah, I think I missed on some guys. I think we all missed on Jamori Robinson up until this point. Now, maybe he has a great 5 games down the stretch. I don't know. But up until now, it's been a disappointment. So, anyway, I don't want to get off track. Let's get back to Kade Bush here. So, what I'm saying is by the time he gets here, Kade, it's going to be a different situation. We're going to be in a much better spot. As you can see here, he posted today, 5 hours ago, 100% committed. Thank you so much, Michael Neiswander, Coach Rod, Coach Trickett, and the entire West Virginia staff for the amazing visit and making it feel like home. Excited for what's ahead. Go Mountaineers. Hard Edge, MPND, West Virginia football. So here is his week 7 form from this year, I believe. So this is exciting stuff because I haven't seen it yet. So actually, I have seen this already. This is the perfect play to start with. This is one of my favorite plays by this kid, as you can see right here, as they are in. I think they're in 12 personnel. I can't really tell. Let's see, center guard, tackle. Yeah, they're in 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends. So what they do is You'll see they block out on the edge with one tight end. They send a big back around to block. They bring him off the edge like this, and they just sort of like the option. They tip it to him. It's a really sweet looking play. And as you can see, he's got some wheels to him. Nice play there. Here he is in the backfield. Nice quick move. Once again in the backfield. Nice cut. 10-yard run in the backfield again. He's a tight end, by the way, guys. As you can see, he's got some wheels to get around the edge. Not bad. Here he is again. They popped a pass over to him again. And it just takes the whole team to even try to get him down. Here he is on the edge coming across, and just what a block. And this is where he's best, guys, in my opinion. This is where he's best. He can run with the ball. He can block. But he can catch. But as a blocker, he's devastating as a blocker. And I really can't say enough about that. There are a couple plays where it's like, okay, this kid's not playing around with people. There you can see he put a dude in the dirt. Nice play on the seam route. He was open there for sure. So a couple plays for you there. We'll also watch some of his other stuff here. Let me see if I can find it. Is it still here? I may have deleted out of it. No, there it is. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go to his regular season highlights again, and we're going to go back to some of these blocks we saw here earlier that were just so devastating. I think this is it. Trying to figure it out where we're at here. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those plays I really love from him. As you can see, he lines up right here. He gets in, he washes down inside, then starts hunting for another block. Boom, nice play. And then I love how he pops out, takes his dude down to the dirt. He runs dudes out of bounds in a couple cases. There's another one. Watch this guy. Gone. Boom, now he's throwing him down. I mean, that's probably his most impressive block right there. But he's a punishing blocker, which you got to have. And in this offense, this right here, I guarantee you gets Rich Rod and company fired up. Watch this kid. He's engaged now. That's great technique. His helmet's right underneath the chin. You got a flat back. And, I mean, he's just pushing. And now it's sit down, son. I'll be back later for you. So, this kid's got some juice to him, and I think there are some things that he does well, and there's some things he can work on. I think he would probably admit that. As you can see, he can turn a small 5-yard pass into some yards. So there's a lot to love here, I think. And you got to think, man, what's he going to look like when he really gets into a college weight program and nutrition program? I mean, who knows, right? The sky's the limit for a kid like this. But I certainly think he has got a ton of upside coming, especially as the blocker. I don't mean to keep harping on that because I do think he's going to be a player as a receiver too. But his blocking ability, clearly, in my opinion, is what sets him apart and is going to make him a Power 5 every down kind of guy. We'll go to break, come right back, put a bow on this one. We'll be right back. Locked on West Virginia. This episode of Locked on West Virginia is going to be brought to you by our friends at Mazda. When it comes to Mazda, we all know it. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. They deliver confidence with every ride with more IHS top safety picks than anybody else of 2025 in August. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda. Move and be moved. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining in here on this episode of Locked On West Virginia as we dove into Kade Bush, a really impressive tight end flip from Arkansas in the SEC. Love seeing that. Welcome him in, guys, on social media. If you see him around, thank him for coming into Morgantown and making that decision. It's going to be a fun year next year, I think, and he'll be a part of that. Hopefully he understands this team is just beat to hell this year and is not playing well this year. But that doesn't mean that Rich Rod's not going to get this thing turned around. It's just year one, and there's a lot going on within the program that they can't control, in my opinion. Now, there may be other people that say they don't believe in him at all. I'm glad you chose West Virginia, brother, and I hope that you continue to wait it out the next couple years. You'll see the improvement. And if you're a hard-edge player, you're going to fit right in, no doubt about it, man. So we're all glad to have you. We welcome you with open arms, and hopefully we can have you here on the show someday. We would welcome you to do that. So, guys, thank you so much for joining in. It's a big weekend for West Virginia basketball. I think we're going to shift gears to that really quick, but we're going to put the Bush thing to bed now. But that was a big-time pickup from the Mountaineers for sure. So obviously TCU is Saturday. That's a big time thing. I meant to say a big time weekend for West Virginia sports. Obviously you got balling at the Woodburn coming up tomorrow. You've got the game versus Wheeling University on Sunday, which we all know is, a dub. But at the same time, we want to see these guys get out there and perform. Then we have TCU on Saturday, which is the biggest game of the year because it's the Coal Rush. It's a night game. Can we at least make the stadium, can it be loud enough to make a difference in the game? And we heard Locked On TCU's coach say, hey, or not their coach, but Locked On TCU's host say, hey, they struggled on the road so far this year. Noise has made an impact against TCU this year. That's a big deal. If I'm Rich Rod and company, I need to be praying and hoping we've got most of our fan base there. Anything over 50,000 should be pretty good, but I would love to see it be louder. But unfortunately I understand why if people don't show up. It's going to be cold. There are going to be Halloween parties. There's going to be a lot of that going on. Obviously, there's also going to be Miles Sadler. There's going to be the two Caden Jenkins, and the other kid will be here as well this weekend. 2 4-star and a 5-star basketball player on campus. This could be the biggest weekend we've had in a long time in Morgantown. And certainly making that atmosphere elite can go a long way towards that. Other than that, I think that's all I got. I'm tired. I'm starting to lose my wits just a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. But thank you guys so much for all your help, as always, and all your support. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll do a couple of videos tomorrow, just like we always do, heading into the game, and we'll have fun with it. But make sure you like, subscribe, the whole nine. Let's get to 7K, and I'll see you later, guys. Have a great rest of your week and your weekend. See you tomorrow. And don't forget to cue those country roads.